Okay, you know what this is. We're back, Houston Auto Show. Let me just give you a little bit of a glimpse of what we're dealing with today. The show's bigger than it was last year. So what we have is, I'm standing by Volkswagen, but if you look in the distance, you see Ford, there's Cadillac, there's Buick, GMC. Keep turning, I think you see some RVs over there, some off-road, a few luxury cars. Right over here, we got some exotic cars. So let's see. I'm trying to figure out where I want to start here in a minute, but we're gonna get this going. Cadillac is a company that I do want to go check out because they do have the new Escalade over there, and I'm sure that looks dope. But let me cut through some of this other smaller things, and then I'm gonna circle around into the bigger things. I'm gonna check in a second. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off with these exotic cars right here because, not that I haven't shown you videos and pictures of this if you follow me on any other media channels, but let's just start off with a few things, what we got. So, over here in this section, this is where like personal people bring their personal cars at and they can show them off. That RX-7 is extremely clean. Ferrari 812 right there, that looks dope. We got a McLaren, what is this, a 675 LT. We got a Blazer K5 with the top off. Old school Corvette Stingray. Classic Porsche. A C8 with the doors up. Little Lamborghini doors on there. We have another classic Porsche. Many people don't even know that what this is. Probably see this and think it's like some other Volkswagen. But let's go check out the other classics they have over here. There's this. There are Shelby Mustangs. Complete. I just talked about this on this podcast about Shelby GT350s and GT500s. Well, this is the OG ones. These are the ones that most people are talking about, or if they're speaking about, is these right here. So whoever owns this got both. So that's the original 1960s GT350. This is a GT500, which, I mean, you can't really tell that much of a difference other than checking out the hood. And I'm not gonna act like I'm an expert on knowing whether the hood and stuff like that is different, if it is, you know, to code, VIN matched, all those things. They do got a GT40 over here. So that's cool to see. I don't know if that's the real GT40, I don't know if it's a kit car, I don't know any of that. But even if it is a kit car, it looks dope. There is supposed to be something here that's not here. We got old Volkswagen Beetles, we got the GT500, the old school one, K500, and we have a new one right here, another GT500 KR. That looks ridiculous. And now we're gonna make our way over there. So another thing too is they have the F1 car here that's, I believe is the same one that's been circling around Houston for a while. And that is the Red Bull one here. This was at Cars and Coffee. They put elbow wheels on it. I think it's probably the same one. But let's get down to like some of these other exotic cars they have over here. I'll just circle around over here. This is kind of part of the course. Now I understand my channel isn't really big on like all the exotic cars, just because, I mean, I've seen them. I get up and close in person at Catalina Coffee. We can see them all the time. But just for you, if you're watching this, you're wondering what's at the Houston Auto Show, let me show you. So we have, I don't know if this section I'm standing in right now will be roped off. I would argue it probably will be, or maybe it won't be. I don't know. But we got a Lamborghini Urus. We got a Porsche GT3 RS. We have a true Ford GT. This is from ABZ Motors, if you don't know who they are. We have another GT3 RS. These look absolutely ridiculous. Like, if you've never seen these up and close, why everybody loves them, why they're so crazy, you just look at the aggressive aero. Just look at the, you know, winglets, the side skirts, front fenders, the vents, the hood. I mean, it's an aggressive vehicle, especially considering the fact that I see these things running on the streets in Houston on the regular. So we have a GT3 there. We have another one here. And I guess if you got the money, all these cars are for sale, I'm assuming. Another GT3 RS right here. Another great spec, carbon hood, vents. I like the bronze goldish wheels on there. Those are the same steel brakes, carbon package right there on the car. Same thing on the wing on the back, active aero. Just looks crazy. If you look how big these are compared to the original GT3s and how large these cars got, it's crazy. We got a Huracan there. We got a Ferrari 296 GTB. We have a 488 GTB Ferrari. and nice interior. It's like maroon wine color. It's carbon fiber package, very nice. The 296 looks good. I like this blue color with the blue stripes, the kind of gunmetal wheels. The interior looks dope too. Yellow stripes with the accents on there. We got a Lotus Emira. I do like those cars a lot. This is like the almost everyday supercar almost. They got them in a gray color, it's like a chalk gray. Got them in this burgundy color. Very nice car. This is, I think it has a dual clutch transmission in it, but you can get these in a manual. And then we have the Aston Martin DBX, which is their SUV, which I think is one of the best looking ones. I would get this over in Urus every single day and twice on Sunday. Then we got another Aston Martin. This is the, I think it's the DB, no, I forgot which DB model this is, to be honest. Probably a DB9, DB7, DB12. But this is their standard fare as far as their coupes go. And then I do really like that color on that Emira. I know the chalk color's kind of been worn out, but this one also is a 6-speed manual, so you already know it gets extra points for that. But let's get to the entire scope of this place. Because I know exotic cars are cool, but I'll be honest, I'm not here at the auto show to see necessarily just exotic cars. I want to see the cars that are for the people, that I like to talk about, that I talk about more on my podcast than I do anything else. So let's just start off with Lincoln. This is from West Point Lincoln. Now Lincoln doesn't have, there ain't many updates, right? Like if you're looking at the Corsair, I believe this is unchanged from the last year. It might have a little bit of a refresh, but if you're looking for a small compact SUV and you don't want it to look run-of-the-mill necessarily, and you like the Lincoln brand, then these are nice to have. I do like the way those look. Then they have, that is the Aviator, and then obviously these are the Navigators. Now I believe this is a brand new one because I can tell from the taillights that this is the larger one. You can look at the one over there, that's the older one right there. These are interesting wheels. I do like how those wheels look. I mean, it's an aggressive look. I don't think any of this stuff is open. Probably not. Oh, no, it is. Haha, look at that. Look at the interior of this. Clearly it's been, that is a wild dashboard. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say this. I've been knocking the big screen on the dashboard multiple times. I know I've said it on my podcast many times. It looks dope in person. I'm not gonna lie. It looks cool in person. Let me give you a little bit of a glimpse closer. So that is the front dashboard. This is the entire layout. I do like this little, it's like a speckled look. It's probably supposed to be like stars, the galaxy. You got a giant sunroof, captain's chairs back there. You have this like black, like dotted stitching in there. Obviously everything is power, including the running board down here that pops out when you open the door. If you go into the rear, same thing. Obviously the audio system, I don't know who makes this audio system, but I can just look at how many speakers I'm seeing everywhere, including up here. That might be Bang & Olufsen, don't know. But all the speaker trims out here tell you, speakers in the, TVs in the back, that's a common thread on all these SUVs. But I mean, as far as like the look, power captain's chairs, then obviously if you have the third row back there, then you have this big center console that has like armrests, has storage back there as well, cup holders, a wireless charger, that's convenient. Obviously this is a screen that turns on the controls for something, as far as like controlling everything in the back. But I mean, this is nice. I mean, this is what you would expect. I mean, this is basically $100,000 of SUV. So I wouldn't expect anything less as far as it goes when it comes to how it looks inside. But as far as luxury goes, I mean, this is the part. I mean, you can't deny that this looks good. I'm not mad at this. I do like that. Let me go over to the front real quick. I really do like those wheels. That's a really nice touch. Let me go to the front. Look at those headlights. Now that's a cool effect, especially coming from the LED bar, going across to the light. I mean, substantially better looking than the previous Navigators. If I'm talking about aesthetics on the outside, they really upped the ante when it comes to looking like a true luxury car. Now, the funny thing is, I do like those wheels, but I probably get them in like a darker color, but they do work very well for this, as far as this Navigator goes. Very clean on the side, very similar. Like if I turn around to this older one, you can see that it's very similar. They really put their effort on the front grille, the wheels, and then also a little bit more on the interior. So if you look at this older one, just look at the difference. Like, this looks cool, but this is very much, you could tell, is based off of an Expedition or Ford vehicle. So they up the ante a lot when it comes to interior, including even down to the seats in the back, the captain's chairs. I mean, some of the features are probably the same, but it looks a lot better now. So this is how the Navigator looks. Now, I'm not mad at this. I don't know what the price point, I didn't see a little window sticker, but listen, let's see how much the old one is. If the old one is, what, I don't know, 100,000, something like that. Yeah, the old one, $106,000. So, and this must be the updated, refreshed, this is the Nautilus. So they kind of follow that same LED bar that was on the front right here. And I do like what I see with this interior. I'll give them that. At least they make a difference between, oh, this is locked, the Navigator's open, but inside of there you can see it's like a red interior. So this is just standard, you know, SUVs that Lincoln has. Much hasn't changed too much other than a refresh on the front bumper. The Navigator, I think, got the biggest update. Let me shoot over to Volkswagen. They have, the biggest deal is over there, that Vita ID Buzz. And I've seen a few of those out in the street. They look cool, I do like them. This is the ID4, which is the smallest version of their electric SUV, the ID4, which I do like how these look. It is clean. It isn't, I won't say it's that much distinctive past a bunch of other vehicles, but for a simple electric car that gets the job done at a price point that isn't insane, it starts at $39,000. It's not bad. I do like those. Then we also have the Atlas. This is the R model. So the R model has those wheels on it, a little bit of extra accoutrements, colors and things on there. I like that as well. This looks like it's a Taos. That is an R model as well, all blacked out. That's a GTI. One of the originators of the hot hatch, which I do like as well. Oh, that's not a Taos, that's a Tiguan. That's a Taos, my bad. I'm sorry, guys. That is a Tiguan, which still looks the same. This is a Taos. That is an Atlas. I was correct on that. This has a little bit of an off-road package type thing going on. But that is the Taos. Then over there is, I don't know what model this is. This must be an R model Taos. No, it's R model Tiguan. Okay, this is the brand new one. Because I could tell from the look of it that this is the one that's been completely redesigned. Yeah, see, 2025 Tiguan. The 2024 is currently still available. So I can see they've introduced a bit of the ID design language onto these cars. I'm not mad at that. I do think it looks good. Let's see if it's open. Nope, it's locked. But let me just try to get, if you can look in a bit, the screen in the center is a lot bigger. They have like a wood trim, kind of like this brown leather, and split on the dashboard. I do like that. That's not bad. Now, the shining whole thing here is gonna be the ID Buzz. This right here is really the shining example from Volkswagen that everybody's talking about. And I will say this, seeing this up close and in person, it's bigger than I thought. Like online, it looks kind of small. I know I saw it last year, but when you can finally get up close and personal, you're like, oh, this is actually a real, like, I'm 6'3", and I'm like, oh, that's a real minivan. Okay, we're doing it. So let's jump inside real quick, look at the interior, see what this looks like. Oh, I like that. Okay, I like that funky. It's the blue. I like the blue outside, blue with the white top. Got this little, it's like almost orange, just tan, little accent light. I see the little accent color on the stitch. See the dashboard. I've shown you this car before too, but I just want to kind of give you a close where you can kind of see everything in person. You're gonna open up the sliding door. And this is actually fairly big in here. I'm not gonna lie. I was actually surprised. Now, obviously, I'm a Toyota Sienna connoisseur. driver fan. It's not as big as that as it comes in the interior from what I can see and I can tell just by looking at this. But as far as if you need it for like an electric minivan people hauler, this is very nice, especially considering that there are a lot of features in here. I don't have the time to really go through all of them, but there's a lot of features in here when it comes to like charging ports, how the seats lay flat, how they move, how they slide, the things that you can like kind of hook into this to the floor right there. A lot of this is well thought out. So you can like lay the seat flat like that. That is convenient. You can kind of jump in the back, and even with the seats up like this, there's still a very good amount of space back here. And I can fit back there. I'm not gonna climb back there right now, but as far as in my height at 6'3", I can comfortably fit back there. Even up here, I like this kind of wood effect here, this large vent that goes across. This is a clean interior. Panoramic sunroof is a very nice touch that it goes all the way back. As you can see, everybody can see it. And I also like this little cool effect they did here, these little small windows on the side. Now, some people may hate that because they probably wanted to have a bigger window to slide open. Like on my Sienna, the entire window right here can go all the way down. But as far as what they're trying to aim for, little pockets here for like a phone. See right there, pockets down here, armrest. This is interesting. There's like a double armrest. I've never seen that, where there's an armrest on this side and you also have it on this door. Because a lot of times they just do away with this one because they figure you got the door right there. But this is nice. I like this. Automatic sliding doors. Starting at $60,000. That, now I will say that's a price. You really need to just know what your lifestyle is, if this is what you're trying to get yourself into, if you're going to be driving around in an electric vehicle. If you are, then this is one of the most fun, cool options that you can have, and I think that I do like it. Now, I'm not gonna lie. If there was a gas, diesel power version, listen, I would very well be putting that on the list for a lot of people, saying you might want to think about it. So this is Volkswagen. This is the lineup they have: the 2025 Tiguan, 2025 ID Buzz. There's an ID Buzz 4 up there on the front, but let's just keep it moving. There's a few other cars over here that they have just tucked away. An Atlas Cross. This is a Cross Sport, which is essentially the same thing, but less utility because they kind of chop the roof back there. They get more of a sporty vibe. So I do like that. For, you know, there are people that don't need the 6-7 passengers like this can offer. Some people just need an SUV that's like a little bit bigger. Here's the GTI, which might be one of the final editions that have a manual transmission, and this one still does. But this is the last of the Mohicans. Like, this is it. After this year, I don't know what to tell everybody. They put the same screen on it. Nothing really has changed. Same power band, same power plant. But I mean, if you're talking about hot hatches and the era of them, like, really, honestly, this is going to be the one you want to take and look at right now. This is the last. The MK8's the last one. After this, it's over. I don't know what to say. After the MK8, we're done when it comes to having hot hatches from Volkswagen that have just a standard turbo motor. Now, we're gonna spend some time here because we're in the Cadillac booth now. So, welcome to Cadillac. And I was just talking about them on my podcast. I was talking about that car right there, the Lyriq. I've talked about this right here, which is an Escalade. So we've had conversations. I've talked about, that's the XT6. I haven't really talked about that much because they haven't really changed much on that car anyways. But here's an Escalade, which is like the big brother of, let's say, the Navigator over there. Let's say the Ford Expedition. Any of these cars, this is like the big boy. The one that everybody, this is the luxurious one, the one at the very top. Now, we also do have the Escalade IQ, which is their electric one, which is an all-electric Escalade, which looks incredible in front. Here's the front grille on this. I like this green color. I'm gonna go check out the interior real quick. The interior is gonna be like, if you look at like Chevy Tahoes, you will notice that it's the same. However, one of the unique things here is this crazy curved dashboard that they put on here. Maybe I'm gonna go to the driver's side because that might turn on like a little bit of a little display thing. so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, they were the ones that I said, you know what, as far as a big screen, they did this right. This giant curved display looks fire. I'm not gonna lie, like I know. Big screen on dash, but yo, CarQuicks, you said everybody's putting giant screens on dashboards. And it's true, they are, but that one does look cool. Like, I do like how that looks. So I'm not mad at that. Now, I don't really got to go through the whole list, but this is a nice interior that you see here. Obviously, it has a display there that can be controlled from the driver. That's another screen right there at the bottom that you see that you control. It almost looks like the cup holders are jewel, but they have it like etched out. And then leather's nice. You have real wood, you have real aluminum, you have proper trim. I mean, this is proper luxury sedan. Not luxury sedan. Oh, we got soft closed doors. I didn't even realize that. Then if you open up the rear, same thing. Almost feel like that the door is powered. I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna find out in a second because that felt like it was. And then we have the rear seats. We have a sunroof, pretty large. The back might feel a little bit dark for some people, but I mean, come on now. You're in the back of the Escalade, don't complain. So, hold on, let me get this. The rear might seem a little bit dark for people, but you know, standard fare, captain's chairs on there. This right here is the Escalade IQ. Let me not get in this man's way. I don't know what I just stepped on. That's impressive. That is impressive. It's not as, from what it looks like, if you look at that rear slope, it looks like it doesn't hold the same amount of passengers that this has, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 passenger with the captain's chairs. This looks like it's a 5 passenger, but I'm gonna wait for him to be done. But just from the look of it, even the size of it, I mean, it actually looks even bigger from the front end than it does on this car as far as how it's sitting. But as far as the look, the wheels, I mean, this is fire. Let me check out the rear real quick. Oh, so there is a third row. Okay, so there is a third row. I was mistaken. The third row is there. It's just not as large as the one on the standard Escalade. But let me just give you a look at this. That dashboard with that same curved display, that looks crazy. Can't even deny it no more. In person, this looks incredible, especially considering how much there. So it's the same kind of the layout, less buttons than maybe on the Escalade standard because this is an electric one, but wood trim, AKG, sound system is probably like 27 speakers or something crazy. I like these details, remind me of like old school Cadillacs. This interior is fire. This blue leather with this stitching in there, big panoramic sunroof, much larger than the previous one in the other car. But this is very nice, including, let's check out the rear of this. I like this accent. It's like LED lights that are behind there, so you can kind of see when you're coming inside. Even when it comes to the rear, there's a screen that they have there for controls, which I'm assuming would be like, maybe not seats, probably seats, interior lighting, but the rear is there for a third row. It's just not, like I said, it's not as big, and you are kind of in the dark. You really can't even see it on this video. I mean, I know there's LED lights back there, but your head is literally on the back of that C-pillar. So you really don't have the same window and visuals that you would have. Oh, go ahead, show me.
It just has automatic doors. You don't have to really open them or close them.
Is that for all 4 of them?
Yeah.
Is that also on that Escalade too?
Sorry?
Is that also on the standard Escalade, or just only on the IQ?
On
It is available. Okay, that's nice. That's even open and closed? Oh, that's nice. That's a nice feature. It's probably something you have to get used to if people buy it, because it's so, you know, all the years you open the door, you're like, no, you don't gotta do it anymore. You're like, oh. Not gonna do it with the key fob, or is it just you have to hold that handle there?
Well, it'd have to be unlocked with the key fob.
Got it.
It won't do it for
It's nice. What's the range on it?
Around just over 400.
Oh, that's good.
Like right now, if you open the door, it'll say that it's at, I don't know, let's see, it's at 91%.
424 miles. Okay, that's a good amount. That's a lot of range for this. That's always a thing. It's range anxiety. It's like, can it go as far as I want it to go? But that's nice. And it uses the charging. Can it use also and jump into Tesla charging networks and move all that?
With an adapter, you can use Tesla.
Okay. So it's nice. So he gave me some good information on that, including the fact that it has opening and closing doors. So this is called the Escalade IQ 1000 E4. So with this range, the range on this must be somewhere north of like 500 miles, because at 91%, it had 424 miles of range. So I'm assuming that at 100%, we're probably somewhere very close to 500, which is like a magical number. And including how big and this is and how good it looks, like this looks really good. Like honestly, if you're thinking about a giant, huge electric SUV, like luxury SUV, this would be one on my list, especially considering if you're just beating around the streets and you want something big, comfortable. I mean, if you're paying the same price, which is probably similar, let's go look at the Monroney, because I didn't see it up there. I do see it there. This is what is this priced at? This is, yikes. That is have you zoomed in there? $151,000. Sheesh. I guess this is what you gotta do. You gotta pay to play. A regular Escalade this one right here is $113,000. So a $40,000 increase for a lot more. I don't know if it's a lot more luxury, but it looks a lot cooler. I'll tell you that. Probably rides a lot better. It looks like it's running on air suspension. If I look under there, you kind of see like a giant silver canister. I'm assuming that's probably air spring that they have on there, just because they're probably keeping this very isolated. Now, if that's too much, we also have the Cadillac Lyric. This is another electric SUV that they have in their lineup. This is the one I was talking about previously. There's a V series coming out. They don't have it here today, but that was what I was talking about on my podcast. So they have the V series version of this. And I said it does look like a wagon. Like if you look at this from here, if you look at that rear section and how low this kind of sits, this does feel almost like a wagon, save for the fact that it doesn't have a longer rear. But in general though, nice clean interior. The curved OLED displays are the thing that Cadillac is doing. And I guess that whole etched cup holder thing, I do like. It's like a floating center console, a lot of storage down there at the bottom. That's nice to have. Nice rear seat section. This is a clean car. This is the Optic. The Optic is a smaller brother of the Lyric. So just so you get an idea, we got Escalade, Lyric, Optic. Optic is the smaller one. This is a 500 E4. Smaller, but you'll notice that the design language is staying the same. It may not have as much wood. This one has like a cloth teal type finish. Same nice etched stitch seats, nice leather, center console, curved display, just a smaller of a vehicle when it comes to the size of it. And I like the design element on the rear a little bit better than on the Lyric, just me personal. But everything else looks good. And then the standard lineup is the SRX. Is it still called the SRX? So it's called the XT5. It's called the XT5. That's the XT6, which I'm surprised they're still making these, because I really thought that they might have changed this up by now. Their biggest push right now is realistically this IQ lineup, which is down to the Escalade, down to the Lyric, down to the Optic. Now, this is the V series, which is what, us car enthusiasts, what we like to talk about. This is the automatic one, the 10-speed one. But this is not a black wing. This is just a CT5 V series. It's an all-wheel drive one. This has a twin turbo V6 in it. It doesn't have the supercharged V8. Still looks good. It doesn't look as crazy as the black series one. Doesn't have this isn't a 6-speed manual, but I talked about Cadillac still offering performance sedans in this era where we are losing them left and right. And this one runs around, this is $67,000 as it sits here. Nice little heads-up display there. So it's still not like super cheap, but if you want a performance sedan from Cadillac, if you wanted something with a manual, then they're still giving it to you, as well as some other companies like BMW as well. That is a standard CT4 right here. This is a little bit smaller, but this is kind of like the 3 Series fighter. Think of it like a Lexus IS fighter. The smaller ones you can kind of see. Same clean interior. I will say it's a little plain, but I know what their aim is here. They're not the CT4. They're not trying to have this be like the craziest looking car on the interior, but it looks nice. I do like that. Okay, now we are at good old Ford, at the Ford booth. Now I will say this, there isn't, I'm gonna show you the cars that they have here. And Ford, the one thing about Ford is, I will say, they kind of hold it down when it comes to the amount of cars that they put up out here, especially when it comes to the Houston Autoshow. So let me just give you a little rundown of what we have here. In case you want to come here and check it out, we got the Ford Explorer ST. This is a brand new one. This is a 2025 redesign on the front end. I like the redesign of the Ford Explorer, especially on this front end. It looks less cop car, more, it has a sporty vibe. It has a sporty outdoory feel to it. Even when it comes down to the interior and what they've done on this ST model, I would get the ST model. See the stitching on the seats, it's like kind of this ribbed look right there. Little red stitching on there. I like this little fabric on there, little wireless charger in there. But this whole interior does look nice, especially when it comes to the center console, how it looks. Roof, blacked out roof bars. Coming to this show, coming to these auto shows solidifies the fact that I want to start getting lined up with reviewing cars. Like I really, because I'm just doing a fast preview. I can't even really get down how I want to get down. So this just tells me I need to get to reviewing cars. And I'm gonna get there. I'm doing my 10,000 hours. Now, let me continue. Let me show you what else we got. This is the Expedition. Obviously, you're looking at this, you're like, that looks like the Navigator. That is obviously what the Navigator is based on. That's the older one. This is an Escape E. Looks like, because this might be a hybrid one, because it obviously has that ability, but it is an Escape. It is a hybrid one, as you can see right there. Escape hybrid. This is an Escape right there too. Standard, small, compact SUV. It gets to the point. I mean, it's not anything that's like crazy, but if you're looking at CRVs and Toyota RAV4s, that's what Ford offers you in that same category, the Ford Escape, which I do like that color, nice little blue color. Another Ford Explorer there. We got the Broncos. We know about the Broncos. They've been out for a couple years now. There goes a standard Bronco. There goes a Bronco Sport. Another Bronco Sport. This is a Badlands one. Has better, bigger wheels. Nice looking wheels there. Bigger tires. I mean, stitching on the interior. Rugged. Has, you know what the Bronco is. You can take off the roof, take the doors off. Running guard down there. It's nice. I mean, this is what people have been looking at, have been asking for. It's incredibly popular, and that is the Bronco. Now, the Mustang, I literally just talked about the podcast, which was the Shelby one. Shelby one is not going to be here. Don't even waste your time thinking it's going to be, but there's a Mustang Mach-E. This is a new S650 Mustang, which has been out for a good model years now. This is a very cool color. I like it. Little graphics on the side there. Nice interior as well. Like I said, everybody is now big screen. Now I will say, I know I said on Cadillac that the big screen and everything will look dope, and it does. I still stand by the fact that everything though shouldn't just have a giant screen on it and that just be it. I do think that there should be a little bit more details on the interior. Now, I told you the the Navigator was redesigned, and so is the new Expedition, and that's what this is right here. I don't think I can get up there. No, it says please keep off platform, so let me not be disrespectful. This is a Platinum. As you can see, those are like 22s on there. Can't really give you much on the interior of what this looks like, but from the outside, from this color and the looks, this looks good. And I'm sure from a Platinum Expedition standpoint, and if you're looking at this front end right here, I'm sure that it will have all of the luxury items and features that you're looking for, considering that this is built for families, built for people that have road trips, off-road. I mean, not off-road in that sense, but this is what I mean. When I say off-road, I'm talking about a dirt patch. But listen, this is cool. This little ultimate tailgate option. There's a little table that spits up. I mean, that's cool. And that turns into like a little bench. See that right there? That's a small little detail, but that would be big enough for me to be like, you know what? That's an interesting thing to do. The car that they said sold more than anything, that's a Mustang Mach-E GT, which is their performance one, complete with the bronze wheels. always do like the lights, and I wasn't mad at this. Like when I first saw this come out, I was like, yo, I'm not mad. If I had to get a electric SUV, I'd get this over a Model Y, like every single day, because I think it looks better than a Model Y. And I just like the fact that it has some ethos and some lineage to the Mustang. So I would prefer this one if I had to get an electric kind of SUV that I wanted to drive around in. They also have, let me kind of circle back over here. They do have a 5.0 GT in the grabber blue color. That is nice to see. As you can see right there. And this is what the Shelby one was based on that I was talking about on the podcast, but I like the little hood vent, very clean, black accents. This is a 2025 Ford Maverick. That's a big deal. So the Maverick is like remember I was talking about Ram releasing a mid-sized truck, and I said the Tacoma sells well and other smaller trucks like that. And I mentioned the Maverick, because the Maverick is one of those that has that small form factor that everybody wants to have because it's easy to deal with, right? Like that's a Ranger, that's a little, I guess you would say that's mid-size. F-150 is full size, what you see over there, but this looks really good. Especially in this trimmer package. I mean, that's the perfect amount of truck. Like that's all the truck I would buy. Like I don't have anything to haul. I don't need the monsters over there, but those are for people that really haul and need that. But as far as like the trimmer package, to me, this looks good, especially how in this new front end they have. So Ford really actually did well with this. Let me get a shot of this one as well. I like that. The trimmer package is nice. Now let's see what else we got. We got Rangers, we got some Ford gear, we got some Ford merch. That Bronco vest is kind of dope, not gonna lie. We got F-150s, we got F-150 Lightnings, another F-150, that's probably a Super Duty over there. Like I said, you know Lightnings, you've seen them, the all-electric F-150, but that is a Ford booth. The trimmer, the Expedition, the Mustangs. Like I always say, every year they have a very large platform and a large booth here, which I do appreciate them coming and doing this. Now, we're gonna jump over to GMC, as you can see up there. GMC. Now, they don't have, GMC is mainly, obviously, trucks, SUVs. I wanna say this is an Acadia. Yes, it is, okay? That is their Acadia. I think they've updated the front end a bit with the lights. This is obviously their full-size trucks. This is Denali HD. This is a diesel version of their truck. I mean, massive, it's huge. But I do want to talk about this one over here. This is their electric one. I love that split gate is cool, but let me just show you what this is. This is the Sierra. This is a Sierra EV Denali. This is a full electric one. Now, let me just get you a front end shot real quick. This is the front end of this, similar to I'm going to show you on the Silverado RST, their EV, but really a very cool, dare I say, like Knight Rider-ish kind of front end. But I mean, that's what I kind of get from it. But here's the interior. I don't know if this is open. Oh, it is. So here's the interior, all blacked out, Bose sound system, digital display, head-up display over there, as you can see right there. A giant center console display, nice seat stitching, leather, there's wood trim, big sunroof, panoramic, nice large steering wheel. I like the size of the steering wheel, the width of it, because it has a very comfortable feel. This right here tells me it has that GM Super Cruise option on there, that you can basically go hands-free driving on almost a bunch of freeways and highways in America. Here's the rear, a ton of space in the back. I will say that. I'm sure under these seats there's storage. Like if you lift this up, you can kind of store some things under there. A few things, not too much, but you can put something under there. But you can also, I don't know if this has a split mid-gate. It does. So you see back there, that whole entire center section can split and fold down flat, and you can then have this whole thing stretched out like this and really haul something that's really long, large, even down to probably like a kayak or something. But this split gate allows you to have a step there, comes down, ports, charging, plug in, because you can utilize a giant battery pack that this thing has. That's a charging port right there. Huge, like 22-inch wheels. This is good. I mean, if you're thinking about getting a electric truck, an EV one, the range is probably similar to the Escalade IQ, I would imagine, because it's running, a lot of it is sharing the same chassis and everything. And if you kind of same chassis and everything. So I do like that as well. There's another GMC truck right there. There's some others back over here. However, they do have the Hummer, and I do want to talk about that. There goes another Denali, the Yukon. There goes a Terrain, the smaller compact SUV. That is, like I said, like the Ford Escape, like a RAV4, like a CRV. All these smaller ones, that's what the Terrain is kind of aimed at. Small SUV, compact. But this right here, this is the Hummer EV. Now I do like this one as well too, just because it looks rugged, it looks cool. Who doesn't like a Hummer? Because I do as well. Like the front end is just as always. Front grille, those little hooks on there. Very rugged, very cool. And this is what the interior looks like. Because I haven't, let's see if it's open. Ah, it is. Oh, this is dope. I didn't realize that it was pillarless when it came to the door. That's kind of interesting, because when the window comes down, it's like this door is just free flowing. But it has like a interesting, like almost like a sport type material. As far as the details go, very Hummerish, even down to where the screen is, where you see these details on the side. I do like that effect. It's like a cloth synthetic type material, probably something that can get wet and you can wipe it off. But here goes the interior of this, and I do like all these features because the roof can come off in quarters. You can take things down. I don't know if you can take the doors off, but it's very, very much a rugged look and setup. I do like how that looks. You even get the animation for the Hummer driving when you open the door, and right there on the front screen. The rear is not the most spacious situation, but I mean, I guess that's just what you got to deal with, okay? Everybody isn't over 6 feet like me, but it's very dark in here too, because the roof is tinted and I don't have any lights on in here. But the rear trunk area does look like it has a lot of space, so you still can haul a lot of things in there. But I love how these look. It's not for everybody, but I mean, it's less obnoxious and less inefficient because it's an EV now. So for that reason, it looks cool. You even get the whole giant spare tire on the rear too. Hummer EV. Now, before I step out of this area, I'm gonna give Buick a little bit of some love. The Avenir is right here. I think this is it, honestly. I don't think Buick has anything else other than this one car, which I think they have other stuff, but this is the Avenir. As you can see, they're giving Buick a little bit more luxury than, let's say, the smaller SUVs from GMC. So you get the curved display that you see on the other GM products. And it's still the same compact. This might be a little bit of a mid-size SUV, but they do have that smaller SUV they have that has this nice front end that we jokingly call like the poor man's Urus. I don't see that around here, but that's also a nice car. This is not the Avenir. This is called the Envision. My bad. That's just a spec. I guess that's the Envision Avenir, which would be like the highest trim one. But this is called an Envision, which is clean. It might get a little lost in traffic, but if you're in this market and you're just like, I want something that is a little understated but is nicer on the interior, nicer for a drive, this might be a viable option. We are now at Dodge, okay? The good old brotherhood right there. Now, we know Dodge because they've been basically have been doing what we know they have done for a number of years. That's a Durango, that is a Hornet, Over there is Jeep. I'll get to them later because that's Jeep over there in the section. That is another Hornet right there. But most importantly, let's spend some time with the Charger EV right here, because that is what most people want to talk about. And I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. It looks good in person. You can hate the fact that it's a EV, but I don't. I mean, like, it's an EV, it's fine. There's gonna be a twin turbo version coming out, but here is, I showed you this at the SEMA show. I'm gonna give you a little bit more up close here. This is a Scat Pack with a stage 2, which means that this one has 670 horsepower. And you can already see it by that badge there. This also has a carbon fiber trim package, and the interior of this is very nice. As far as it looks, I don't know if this is open. It is. So, looking at this large, this almost looks like it's carbon fiber. I do not know if that's real. It looks convincing though, so I'll give them that. Nice stitching on here. The rear area is exactly what you would expect. It's small, but I almost feel like you could fit a child, a kid back there. But here goes the entire dash as far as how it looks. Interior, the stitching. This is nice. I like this. Flat bottom steering wheel, more of that like carbon fiber-esque trim that they have on there, and big panoramic sunroof that they have on the car. You can see it up there as well too. And it has presence. I know the joke is there's Hellcats and there's Scat Packs and Red Eyes. And because this thing has that, you know, unreal, not real, but real exhaust, this is the Daytona one. It has the Fratzonic exhaust on it. Did you see at the bottom? That's what that VIN is at the bottom right there. It emits the sound that you would hear from a V8 coming from there. But as far as the stance of the only thing this car needs is to be lowered. Like, it needs to have a little bit more low. Because right now, the stance is not, to me, it doesn't match well to what this car could look like, especially if I put in a little bit of an aggressive front splitter on there and lowered it more. But this isn't bad, and this is what the next version, the one that has a twin turbo V6, is going to have. Large brakes on it. It looks good. I don't know, I mean, like I said, the people that are in love with Dodge cars and what they did for all these years, they have a strong opinion because they've been driving around a supercharged V8. So when you hear about a electric version of your beloved car, you know, you're not gonna be like the biggest fan of it, but still a nice looking car. Now continuing on, and this is like the Stellantis group. So if you notice, up there it says Stellantis, so it includes Jeep, Alfa Romeo, Fiat, all of them in one giant section, because they're all under one roof. So Jeep right here, Grand Cherokee. We used to have an old one from 2011. There goes a Compass, Wrangler right there. And if you come over here, there's more Jeeps. We have Wagoneers. Which Wagoneers are nice. I mean, these are basically like a luxury one. This is a Grand Wagoneer, so a lot of the luxury and the screens and stuff we saw on the previous one, as you can see right here in the interior, same one on this model as well, and this is $115,000. My goodness, this is a 2024 Obsidian option. We got a Gladiator over here, another Grand Cherokee. This Grand Cherokee is a little bit like more luxury on this one, as you can see from the inside. Very nice. That's a substantial upgrade. Even like the wood trim, double stitch on there. This is a $72,000 version of the Grand Cherokee, just so you know. But this is nice. Looks good, not bad looking. The Summit Edition. And if I spin around, now we have the EV version. There's gonna be a lot of EV cars here. And if you're wondering all that noise, because when you come to the show, there is a Jeep like test drive that you can do where you kind of go over big hills, you kind of go over things over there, you kind of drive around into this little obstacle course. So that's a fun thing to do. This is the Wagoneer, the EV one, which is obviously a lot lower than the standard Wagoneer you can see over there. And it's an all EV setup. I do like the little accent LED strip that's kind of going around the front of it. This kind of shows you the dashboard. They've kind of changed up a few things when it comes to how it looks, but digital dash, there's even one for the passenger over there. You just can't see it, it's not turned on right now. But this looks nice, it's clean, it's standard. It's nothing that's, I'm not like shocked and wow, but as far as the Wagoneer S, the EV one, this is fairly clean. Looks, you know, looks good. I like this color. It has its purpose. I don't know the range on this, but this is a 4xe, probably somewhere, I would guess somewhere around like 300 miles or so. But if that's what you're looking for, this is a Wagoneer, the EV one. And then we have Ram. So we're done with Jeep. We're jumping over to Ram because I'm right next to them. I don't know what the Ram sign is, but as we know, Ram is going through some things. But this truck right here, the RHO, is the continuation of like the TRX, just with the twin turbo inline V6 that makes 540 horsepower, but we still got the same large beadlock wheels. It still has the same, basically the same nice interior. It's nothing different. The interior looks very similar to the TRX, including the dashboard and what it has on there, including the steering wheel and this kind of like Fox carbon fiber trim they have on there. So this is par of the course for the TRX. They haven't changed much when it comes to the interior. It was mostly the engine and the interior of everything that got changed. So now it has the Hurricane high output. That is the same motor that they're going to stick inside of the Charger. So the Daytona Charger is gonna get the same 540 horsepower, high output inline six. So I started telling people, just hold your horses. We're gonna get there, okay? They're gonna have something for that car. But here is the RHO, same aggressive wide body, and it's a little less too. That's kind of the nice thing too. I mean, I know it doesn't have 700 horsepower, but it also doesn't have the price tag. It's close, but this is $91,000 with all the options they have, but it starts at $70,000. So it's a little bit less. The gas mileage is still horrendous, so don't ask for anything better than that because you asked for a high output, high performance motor. Now, Alfa. We're done with Ram. We're going to Alfa real quick. Alfa doesn't have, aside of the standard SUVs that they have here, here's a smaller compact one they have right here as well. And Alfa is, I mean, they do make a nice car. The best one I like is a Quadrifoglio. This is a Tonale, or the Tonale, or that's what I was saying. And that's the Stelvio, which is, they have a high performance version of this as well. But I will say this, I always love their dashboard design. It's very Italian. I like how it looks. I love the circle steering wheel. They always look good as far as the Alfas go. It's just, you know, you gotta live with the Alfa and changing it. But if you were looking for not run-of-the-mill sporty SUV, then this is a good option. Like if you wanted something that isn't just the same thing you see time and time again, this isn't a bad option, especially considering just the old slew of SUVs out there. This isn't a bad example. I do like this. And then they have the lone Fiat 500e, their electric one. Cute little city goer.
It's been years.
A lot of people do like it.
Kind of freedom.
It is compact, it is small. Okay, we're back to it. I had to take a little break real quick. Sit down, there's a lot of talking and walking, okay? Just so you know. But let me show you, we are here at the Chevy booth. Now, from last year, much hasn't changed. We do have the Z06. No, the ZR1 is not here. I was hoping it would be, but it ain't here. Maybe the space is designated for it to show up later. I don't know. But they have a Z06 here, but it's surrounded by a little gate this time. But you know the Z06. Really, I wanted to show you this, the Silverado RST, which is based off that other GMC truck that I showed you. way over on that end, the Denali one. This is basically the same exact thing, but this is just a Chevrolet version of it. So remember I was talking about that mid-gate that it could do? This is what I'm talking about. You can basically fold this entire thing flat and get the largest piece of lumber, equipment, whatever you need, all the way to the front inside of the vehicle. And you can even close up that window there. Obviously you're still open to the elements there, so you can't, I mean, if you gotta do it in the rain, then I guess you gotta do it, but you can't seal it off, but you can have it completely open there. And this is an electric one. They have a cool little display kind of showing you the charging system that you can have probably installed inside of your house, there inside of your garage. You kind of charge it and utilize, I mean, even if there's a power outage, because if you already know, anybody that lives in Texas, you know a power outage isn't an if, it's just a when. And you can actually use this to kind of power your house or power parts of it because it has a giant battery pack. But interior wise, they've given this a little bit more, this is more of a sporty vibe. From the blue-red stitching that you can see here as well, to the way the steering wheel is. This does have Super Cruise on it. Digital display, head-up display, very large center console display there. All these storage and things that you can have in here. Let me see if I can open this with any type of sense. There we go. Large storage in there. I mean, this is what you would expect. Wireless charging, a lot of space, very power seats and everything. I mean, this is normal grade as far as how this goes. It has a large panoramic sunroof on there as well. These trucks are nice if you're looking at an EV one. It's not cheap though. And the range on this one is in similar range, 400 to 500 miles of range on a fully charged one. The front end looks similar to the GMC one, which is very cleaned out front, lower grille part for some airflow, probably to cool off batteries or radiators and things for the air conditioning, but it's over $100,000. That's part of the issue when it comes to trucks like this. The idea of it is dope. I like it. I'm not mad at EV and electric cars. I like the idea of an electric truck. It's just, man, that price point for something like this is crazy. Like, that's just a lot of money. It's just a lot. Now, that's not the only EV they have. Last year I showed you the Blazer one. They had the Equinox one here, which is sitting right over there, that blue one, which, granted, in the RS trim, it does have a good little sporty vibe to it. It looks, that objectively, to me, looks a little bit better than like the Model Y or some other electric EVs, SUVs. I mean, that's giving the Mach-E a run for its money because I like the aggressive RS front feature that it has on there. This is the Blazer one. The Blazer does have a different model. I think it's like the RST or no, it has the SS model. This is just the RS one. But 325 mile range on the standard rear-wheel drive one. And then for the Equinox, which has, you know, this nice blue color. I mean, I wish my GR Corolla had a blue color like this. Nice interior, digital dashboards, small SUV, but it has enough good room, good leg room, flat floor, good trunk area as well too. And this isn't, it's not expensive. Like, this is, I mean, 48,000 ain't cheap, still like 50 grand. I guess if you think about the tax incentives that you could have on this, and I don't know if I can open this trunk. There we go. This is how much trunk space you have. So a very good amount of trunk space. You have this little floor down here to kind of throw some stuff down there as well. Things you can strap there, probably the tire pressures, you know, inflator, the car jack, power lift gate as per usual on most of every single car these days. The door handles that kind of hide away. So they've given this a very clean look because the other cars don't have like the door handles that stick out like this. So I do like, that's a very clean look. Nice little kind of red accent colors there, but nice. As far as the electric small SUVs go, this is not bad. Like I said, I like the RS trim. The front end of it doesn't look bad. I wouldn't run the front plate though, but it still looks nice. Nice clean. Okay, the rest of the Chevrolet booth includes standard Blazers, as you see there, standard Equinox, another Tahoe over there, Chevy Tahoe. That is a Suburban right there. This model over here looks to be forgot which one this is. But these are all the 2025 models of this is the Traverse. This is probably the 2025 one, because if you look in the back on the High Country, those headlights and taillights kind of signify that it is a new one, and it is a 2025 model. So the 2025 one has a bit of a cleaner front end, still boxy, still aggressive, still off-roady, but clean design. Same with the digital displays. You see a similarity with the company interiors, because Chevrolet is going to keep that going across most of their cars until you get to probably like the Tahoe, even though I can even tell from here the Tahoe has similarities to the other models as well too. But the Tahoe is a staple. So yes, it has similarities. Yes, it has digital dash, wireless display. It has good storage in there. Has enough room. My sister has a Tahoe. There's enough room in the third row for an adult of my size. You have the captain's chair. The Tahoe is a staple. You already know what they are. This is $76,000. But I mean, I'm not saying nothing new. If you're looking at a Tahoe or a Suburban, you know what these things cost, especially when you get to the higher trim ones. So this is the Chevrolet booth, and this is a Suburban over here for the people that need a full-fledged. Now, I do like Suburbans. I just don't got Suburban money. Okay, that's $89,000. Okay, that's what I don't have. But if you want full third row, like complete all the space and all the luggage space, this is it. This is big. This ain't getting no bigger. This is a High Country. That's why it costs so much. You don't gotta get the highest trim, but that's a Suburban as well. And then there's this funky looking delivery van they have over here, which is probably them pushing into, what do they call it? When you're doing logistics, it's called like the last mile, which is distribution center to the house, to the person that bought it. So it's like, they call it the last mile. Basically, what happens when you come from a distribution center all the way to the person that delivered it and has to do it. So that's what this is. It's called the Bright Drop 400. It is an EV, 272 mile range. And I mean, just like Amazon has their trucks running around that are EVs, similar concept, just with Chevy. And here are their full-size trucks. We got the ZL1, we got the Trail Boss, we got a ZR2 over there in Colorado. Remember I talked about the Colorado. I talked about the Colorado on the podcast when I was referring to the mid-size, small SUVs that other companies have, that Ram is trying to build, that Ford has the Maverick. Even though, in hindsight, the Colorado is actually a little bit bigger than a Maverick. So this might be mid-size, that small. Then you get to the Silverados, which are full-size as well. So there's the Silverados you have here. And then there's obviously the HD 2500s, 3500s, you know, big, full-on SUVs for hauling and pulling everything. Now, let's get over to Toyota. Obviously, you know, I have an affinity for Toyota because I own them. And Toyota this year has a very large footprint. They must have heard my podcast. They must have heard me say, hey, Toyota, your headquarters are in Texas. Please have all your cars here. I don't know. I see they have a GR Corolla here. I can see it from here. I can see, and they have a Supra, and they have a GR86. They have the whole lineup. So let's spend a little time here. I'm gonna give Toyota its props. They came here with everything. They weren't trying to hold nothing back, which I appreciate. The new Insignia, or Signia, is that how you say it? Crown Signia. I say Insignia, but that's the Best Buy brand. That's I keep saying it. This looks extremely good for an SUV. I'm not saying for an SUV to like knock it. I'm saying this looks good as a vehicle. Like if this is on your list of changes and updates, this looks good. I don't know if this is open. Oh, it is open. Making sure I wasn't supposed to not open this, but this is a Crown, and Toyota did good. Like the Crown SUV looks very nice. I would love to review this. I know it seems odd that, you know, Mr. CarQuicks, that I would want to review this, but I just like how this looks, and I think it's really I don't think it's slept on or anything. I just think it just came out. But I think as far as like in this realm of mid-size SUVs, this is one of the best looking ones, bar none. I don't care about the price, European or not. Simple, clean interior, but the outside, I mean, really, they really nailed this. $52,000 in the trim it has now. But just the look of it, I mean, I think this looks really good. But I mean, I saw one actually, when I was actually driving here, I saw a white one on I-10. And I hadn't seen one actually out on the street, because when I see this, like, now, I'm gonna give you a little bit of my own mind. I know in Japan, if they had this, they would already have lowered this, aired it out, and it would look incredible. But that's a nice looking SUV. We got the Crown sedan here. This is, we've known this, we've seen it before. Kind of the funky lifted sedan they have. But if you're asking me which Crown to get, the Insignia is way better looking to me. RAV4, the staple, the go-to. Another RAV4, the Prius. We talked about that last year as well. Prius is here, and I mean, for those that need a hybrid, this is might be the leading one, the kingpin as far as hybrids, miles per gallon at 52. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So, and they've always been clean. It has a little bit of that BZX4, is that what they call it? That vehicle over there. It has a little bit of that design on the interior, but we already know the Prius. The Prius to me is, they did a redesign on this and they did it appropriately. They gave it all the love that it needed. And that's why you see people modifying them. And this is their electric one, which is based off the combination they did with Subaru. I still think this is still kind of funky looking. It's not terrible. It's just, I just feel like when Toyota decides to do something themselves, when it comes to EV, it'll make more sense. That's just me personally. I don't think that this is bad. I just think that the combination is too Subaru looking, where Toyota wouldn't do this. And the dashboard is just a little too extra, especially when it's pushed this far back and this thing looks like it's a helmet, it's like a VR set that can go on your head. It's just a lot. But I see their ambitions for that. We also have the Land Cruiser here, which is well known. People love the Land Cruiser. Obviously, it just got re-released. This is the version they have now. It gets back to the ethos of the Land Cruiser. Something that is boxy, utilitarian, straight to the point. I mean, listen, Toyota, some people are knocking, saying like, yo, these interiors are bland. They look the same. You know, a lot of it is just that it'll just last. It's just simple. Yes, it's simple. The rear seat room ain't really that much. But like I said, when I compare rear seat room, I'm comparing it to my over 6 foot frame. So it may not be that important to other people, and it may not be a good review or gauge on what the car can do. But listen, we got the Land Cruiser. I like how that looks. This is cool. Here is the back of the Land Cruiser. And I like these, listen. I like Land Cruisers. When I was at the SEMA Auto Show, the amount of stuff that you can do on a Land Cruiser was so astronomical. Like, it was ridiculous. So I would personally say, let me get this camera correct. I would personally say that if I had the money, I'd get a Land Cruiser and I would do what I saw. Now, the truck of Texas is now the Toyota Tacoma. This should not be surprising considering the fact that everybody has a Tacoma. Like, I mean, seriously. The only other place that I can see that can match the amount of Tacomas I see in Texas is Hawaii, because they had them tacos everywhere. So, and I'm sure that this one is going to do the exact same thing there. So, the new Tacoma, this is in a TRD Pro option. This has this red interior. I don't know if this has those like crazy seats that this thing had before, which is like those, I don't know if the door, if it's open, I'll check, but if it's not. But this is like the red interior that it has. Looks good, extremely sporty as well. And if it has those seats, you'll see it. Yeah, it has those crazy shock absorbing seats that if you're doing a bunch of off-roading, you can adjust the dial on these things and it'll actually reduce the amount of feedback that you're getting when you're driving on the back of your seat, on your butt basically. I'm pretty sure that that option is expensive, okay? as this vehicle sits right now, they say it's 65,000. It's actually not as much as I thought. I thought it'd be a lot more. Now, can you go to a Toyota dealership right now and get one fully spec like this for 65 without them tacking on 7,000 to 8,000? Probably not. Okay, but other than that, as far as the look of it, the gray, I mean, Toyota, you know Toyota loves gloss black. I'm not the biggest fan of gloss black, but let me give you a little bit of an update. I've been kind of changing my mind about the gloss black on my GR Corolla. We'll get to that on another video, but I've been kind of changing my tune. But I'm just saying, gloss black is just a lot to deal with sometimes on the outside, but overall, very nice. And next to it, we have the new 4Runner, which looks aggressive in this TRD Pro model they have. And like I said, the Tacoma has been named Truck of Texas. So you're gonna see a lot more of this advertised when it comes to what Texas and they do here. But let me get a shot of this. Hold on, camera. Wait. And if you also wanted to notice too, the nice red anodized suspension under there, that's a nice touch. I think I showed you that last year too, when we're showing off what the trucks and cars look like. But the red anodized on there is nice. Now, the 4Runner is the next big thing. And I'm almost positive that this is going to take off, because just based off of how it looks, the stance and the ruggedness of it looks even more aggressive. I know it says locked. I feel like it might be open. Oh, it is. And that's a prototype vehicle, but I'm still gonna open it. Interior wise, very similar to the 4Runner. Almost, it's identical. I mean, not 4Runner, to the Tacoma over there. It's identical. TRD on the badging. It comes to the camo seats in there. I do not think large 14-inch center console that it has in all of the new Toyotas. I'm pretty sure it does not have those wild seats. That is a Tacoma special. So you can't get those seats on here because this is in a Pro one. And I'm saying that, I may not be 100%. Maybe you can, maybe you can. I don't know. I don't think you can, but I'm sure later on somebody will swap them seats into one of these 4Runners because they want them. Standard space in the rear, it hasn't increased. My mother-in-law has a 4Runner, and it's the same size in the rear as it is anywhere else, but it is nice. Let me close that better. Same design aesthetic, gloss black, and then it has like this sand desert color. The rear is the same as well, but that's locked, so you can't really open that. But rear tow hitch, spare tire, looks like a full-size one under, gloss black with the roof rails. This is good. I like the taillight action. I like how the wheels look. It has upgraded suspension for the Pro model. My man over there is getting in on it, showing you the red anodized on there. He's getting real close to it. I do like this. Now, I don't know the cost of it, but if a Tacoma TRD Pro is $65,000, then this is probably $60,000. I mean, that's just what it is. Now, moving on to the other Pro models, because they got them all here. We also got the Sequoia Pro, and I've talked about this car before. We briefly thought about Sequoia when we had the Sienna. Now, obviously, for me, I love these. I do like, if I was to buy a truck and just be like, I got a truck, because that's what we do in Texas. I don't have one though, but I wouldn't be mad at buying a Sequoia. And I do like how these look. My knock against the Sequoia is that it's so big, but it doesn't have as much storage and space in the rear that you would expect for a car this size. I mean, like, it's mad big on the outside. You jump inside and it's like, yo, third row is like, come on, dog. I do like the little stitch pattern they have on this little all-weather mat, but interior does look cool. I just wish it had more storage space. That's just really, I just feel like the size of this thing, it just feels like it should be a lot bigger inside when it comes to like how you store things. Let's see if I can open up this lift gate real quick. You see what I'm talking about? Like, there should be more space. Like, I know they got the little shelves you can put on there, but I'm just like, it's just not as high as I thought it should be. I think it should be a lot bigger inside. That's just me personally. But if you wanted something that was like this rugged look with this camo trim on there, it looks good. I'm not saying it doesn't look bad. And you get the TRD Pro suspension, wheels, the tires, the added rugged look on the outside, similar to how they did on the 4Runner and the Tacoma. But you notice on these, they didn't give them that little camo stitch, which I would have liked better on those cars. I bet you what's gonna happen is the world of wrapping, the people that wrap cars are gonna either put a matte camo wrap on those fenders to make it emulate the look of this car here. Mark my words, it's happening. This is another Sequoia, but this is a 1794 edition, which is like the luxury high country, you know, wood trim, says 1794 on there, brown leather. Same thing with the Sequoia, but this one just has a better, it's more of a luxury feel, kind of an ode to their old edition. I can't remember what 1794 stood for, but it probably is like the very first time that they put a truck with a Toyota badge. I don't know, something with Texas probably, most likely. Now, running down this road, we have the current Tacoma, the new one as well. This is the non-TRD Pro one. So you can see the difference. You can body color everything. This is the one that you're gonna see 99% of the time, opposed to the people that have the means to buy a Pro one, but this is what you're gonna see most of the time. But this is the new Tacoma, and this is a, what trim is this? This is a TRD Sport. So the TRD Sport is like, honestly, this is the one that everybody's gonna have, really. And you still get the same nice interior as far as the dashboard. You get the cloth seats. I mean, if I was to get a Tacoma, realistically, I'd get this model because I want to save myself the money. And here's the difference. This is $48,000, still not the cheapest thing in the world, but that was $65,000. So you're talking about a, what, almost a $20,000 difference in price. And then we have the Tundras, the full-size ones. You know Tundras. We got a TRD Pro Tundra. You already know about those. Those are not going to be cheap. Little desert sand color, little camo accent that Sequoia had. You will need $77,000 for this truck. But you already know what you're getting into when you get into Tundra. Other Tundra over here, we have the Grand Highlander. We have the old school Highlander right there as well with the little Yakima box on the top. This was the color that they actually have a Sienna with the color that my wife originally wanted, but man, the hoops of fire we had to jump through to get our van, we just had to stick with silver because it was already ridiculous. Took us a year to get a minivan, waiting a year to get all the specs we wanted, so I wasn't waiting no longer. Now, Grand Highlander, this is standard SUV fare, just that the Grand one is a little bit bigger, so it allows you to have a third row seat on it. So instead of you being stuck with just 5 passengers, this one allows you up to 7. I'm not saying it's the most comfortable 7, but it's 7. Then we have the real deal Holyfield. Now, I know I've been meaning to do my review of the van, and I'm going to do it this week because I've already said it enough times and it's time to show and prove. I'm gonna do the review on this van because as I stand here today, this is the best vehicle that Toyota probably makes. There is no beating the Sienna. I do not care what you tell me. This is the greatest thing. Now, I know I do like the fact that on the new ones, they do get the updated larger screen. I'm jealous of that. I would like that. They also get this iconic carbon fiber look. The gloss black is less because it used to be down here on our steering wheel. We have a gloss black and it's not there on this one, which is probably for the better, honestly. But everything else looks similar. I don't know if I can open this, can I? Oh yeah, we can. We got power. I do still love the blue color. I'm just mad we couldn't get it, unfortunately. But everything else looks the same. As far as the seats go, they did, everything else is identical. This is a 2025 one, including the rear entertainment system. It looks like they got a 1500 watt inverter system back there with a plug. They have the sunroof. This might be the entire spec that we had as well. And it might probably, because 1500 watt inverter, rear entertainment, it has a spare tire, it has the XSE pack. Yeah, this is basically the same exact spec that we had. The whole entire thing. A little bit more now, it's 54,000. I mean, we spent on basically the same amount of money, so I'm just letting you know, it ain't nothing easy about buying any new car, but our van, absolutely love. has about 88,000 miles on it. I'm driving that until the wheels fall off of it, okay? Let me tell you. But this is a Sienna, and if you haven't, I don't know if it'll work. I don't have the key in my pocket, but if you look down here, if you look down there, that little badge right there that you see is for you to kick your foot and it allows you to close the door. I do like our lighter interior color, even though I have a situation happening with the seat stitching right here that's coming off. I need to go to the dealership and have a little chat with them and figure out where my warranty kicks in and where it doesn't, because listen, we gotta talk. XSE, this is the same one we have. I need to do a full like detail and paint chip correction on the front of ours and refresh it for like another couple more years of use. Obviously many more years of use, but there goes the XSE. And then we have another RAV4. You got Camry SE over there. You got the Corolla, standard Corolla hatchback, and then you got the GR. Now, I've already spoken plenty about this. I've did videos and I've done little, information on this. I own a GR Corolla. It's literally outside right now. No, it's not the 2025 model. I have a 2023 one. I will say, as I said before, as time goes on, the front bumper is looking a little bit better. I still prefer the 23, and when I get the stuff I want to get on it, it's gonna look dope as well. But just when I see the car, I own the car, but even when I see it, I'm excited. Okay, I just love the GR Corolla. I love it. I think it is the most fantastic hot hatch that's come out in many years. So this is a new 2025 one. This is a premium edition. It doesn't have the premium plus, which would have the carbon roof, and the wing and stuff is optional, but $43,000 is what you're gonna need to spend to get yourself behind the wheel of one of these. It's worth it. I'm telling you that now. Here's a GR86. You already understand about those. They've been around and they are getting a refresh for a third generation. And then we have the Supra, which is coming to a close. I don't know what they're gonna do next. The Celica's coming out. There are MR2s coming out, but this is pretty much gonna be the last when it comes to Supras and what they have for the MK5 one. I will say that once they do discontinue these, I suspect that the market will drop, and you probably can get those for a really good price if that's what you want, and then it might start creeping back up. It depends on what the new one does. And here is a Camry SE, or XSE, I believe, complete with red interior, complete with a large center console display and nice elements of design, from the AC vent to the center console, large trunk area. And this is, the Camry. I gotta explain nothing to you. This is a staple in the world of get around and get it done. What is really impressive though, I know it's not really like an enthusiast thing, but the gas mileage is pretty nuts. And that's the 43 in that spec. And that's a Toyota booth. I think this time this year, they did a really good job of having everything available. This is gonna be jam-packed on the weekend. Even today, like right now at 11, the whole show opened up, but this is the first day, so it's a lot less people. But they're gonna come in here and flood this area, especially considering what they have, how much people love Toyotas in Texas, and how much the dealerships make and sell. So round of applause for Toyota in their booth. I do appreciate what they have done here. We are over at Honda. I know they have like the Prologue, which you see right there, which is their electric EV. This is, what is this? This is the Passport. This is the Trail Sport one. Okay, I'm tripping. Okay, so the Passport is actually interesting because they kind of went back to the simplified old school way of doing things, which is it only is like a V6. It's straight to the point. It's basically made for like adventure, off-road, utility. I like it. I think it answers a call of just simplifying some of the new ideas of these cars and new designs. I'm not sure if I can get up here. I'm gonna check to see if it's open. It may not, it's locked. But that's the all-new Passport Trail Sport. Including, it almost looks like it has Steelies on there. Those are HPD wheels. But I know it's like a rugged look, but I do like this. I think it does look good. It answers a call for people that want something that's a 5-passenger utilitarian, but it isn't like overly complicated. That's what I think this is a good mark for them. There goes a Prologue right there, which is their EV that's teamed up with General Motors. And I've seen a lot of those out there, and currently, supposedly, these are selling very well. And I said I did like how these look. The livery they have on it kind of hiding some of the design elements that I like, but it is something that does look good. Then they have the CR-V right here, which is a staple. Another Passport over there. This is the HR-V, which is a small, compact SUV. If you're looking for something smaller than the CR-V, something smaller than like a RAV4, then that's what this would be. A little HR-V. It's inexpensive, you know, $30,000 as it sits now, all-wheel drive sport. Not bad. I mean, it could get a lot more expensive if you want a CR-V, but good for what you need it for. The Honda Accord, another staple in the realm of sedans. I do like what they did on the new design. Some people prefer the other. Well, the Sportback one they had previously is still one of the best looking ones they've done. I'm not mad at what they've done here. It doesn't have as sporty of a look as previous models, but if you get like this Touring Sport one here with this matte black wheels and a little black gloss trim, it does have a sporty look to it. So you can get back to that era where it looked that sporty. I don't think it looks bad. And then obviously the one that I'd be the most interested in is the Civic Type R they have right there. This is, I thought about one, like I said, I've thought about one of these when I was getting a GR Corolla. I prefer the GR Corolla. This is still an amazing car to get. Front wheel drive, sport compact, one of the best ones ever created. It will go down in history as one of the best. You cannot go wrong with getting one of these cars. You've seen this interior plenty of times, seen the dashboard, how it looks. The main thing that I would have to do, honestly, is review it myself, because looking at it and driving, I've seen them, I've been inside of them, but I would have to really go and drive it, really figure out what it's like to compare it to a GR Corolla, how that feels, how it drives. And that'll happen soon enough. Like I said, working my way up to the idea of getting into these reviews. That's what I gotta do here. Now, I haven't seen anybody from the Auto Riders thing, even though I see their booth over there, so I haven't been able to pass my card out, but I got it in case I run into them. And if I don't, I'm gonna see them on the internet, okay? So let's swing on to the next booth. What do we got? We have good old Kia. Now, Kia has been on a run from like they have a huge booth here. So if you're interested in Kia, come here at the show, because they are here in full capacity. And this is their EV9. This is a GT1, all blacked out. I'm not gonna lie, it looks cool, all blacked out. And that's a GT line, all-wheel drive. And I've showed this car before too, as far as like the interior goes. I showed it last year. It hasn't changed much as far as what they've done, but everything looks, I mean, listen, if you're knocking Kia because you think that they don't make a quality vehicle, it's over for that. You got to kill that noise. It is what it is. They are up there with the best of them. Maybe they don't have the same resale or value holding as some of the other counterparts that have a longer history. But if you're just saying, I want something that looks nice, I want something that looks cool, listen, you can't knock it. This is nice looking, like white, black interior, third row seat access is back there. On the outside, it just looks the part. Especially with the lights, the rear, and all black. I'm not mad at this. This is the new Carnival, as you can see from the front lights. I'm not mad at the Carnival. I chose the Sienna because when we were buying the Sienna, the Carnival had just come out, and I was like, I'm not about to figure out if the Carnival is worthy on the first go around. But that's an SX Prestige, which from a luxury standpoint is much higher than on my vehicle. But I wasn't buying the Toyota because I wanted to have the most luxurious setup. You see, like I was just buying it for efficiency, but this looks really good, even down to the rear, because it has like little kick out seats right here. You can like have a little kick rest, foot rest, I mean, screens in the back, third row seat. I actually do prefer the screen in the ceiling because what would happen is the third row kids would have nothing to watch, and it would be a fight to sit up here with these screens, okay? I'm just saying, I'm thinking about that. You see the dad gang hat, you know I'm always thinking about the chillins, okay? So, this is still nice. I do think that the Carnival does look good. It has a very aggressive, kind of sporty look, especially when it comes to the front bumper. So it's not bad. It's not, in this trim, if you go to the highest trim, you will have to spend about $55,000, which isn't far off from what that Sienna X SE has. So some people will see what this has as far as like the dashboard, the audio system, the wireless charging, the other technology in it, and be like, yo, this is better than the other one. But when you're thinking about like cars that are to haul family and last for a long time, when we did it, we had to get that. Now I do wish that we had the heated and cool seats that they have on this one. So I will say, the one thing that Kia does really, really well, pack in a lot of value for the money. Value that you can't even argue. You try to and you're like, dang, I can't. For instance, let's look at the K4. This is a Camry Honda Accord Fighter. I actually think this looks better than probably all of them. Just, it's an aggressive look. It may not be something that everybody prefers or likes, but I do like it. And I know I did say it was like the Camry Fighter, but it really is actually for like the Corolla because it's smaller, but it just looks so big that I'm like, it's like the same size as almost a Camry and Accord, but this is really for like the Corollas and stuff. But this is the K4 GT line turbo model. I even like how they integrated the rear handle back here so that you don't even see it. It just kind of disappears. The back of the seats have a very sporty look to it. Simplified, simple in the rear. You got chargers back there at the bottom. You have some USB-C chargers, which is what you need, AC vents. And the interior though is really nice, especially when it comes down to the steering wheel, how it looks, the digital dashboard display, center console, you got wireless chargers and everything in there. I mean, that's standard fare now, but it does look clean. And then you come to the outside, you got a nice sunroof. You come to the outside and you got this nice like sporty hatchback type of look, even with the taillights. And if you were looking at this, or let's say you were looking at a Honda Civic or a Corolla, and let's just say your price point, how this one sits right now is just $31,000. I really don't know another option that can fight at this level for how this looks. You just, if you don't care for Kia, you don't care for Kia. But if you're looking for like a first car or just a car in general that is nice, compact, looks good for 31, like this, come on now, you just get some tint and we're good. Like that's a smoking deal, to be honest. That's a wild deal. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, like I thought it was a little bit more like 35, 40. 31? That's hard to beat. That's hard to beat. I just think the center back on me. So I'm looking at another Carnival. We have a Telluride over there. This is the K5, which is their larger one. This is the one that would go after a Camry or anything like that. But even in this trim at $34,000, it's a little bit larger, but the same nice high quality when it comes to the interior. What they have available for you, the red leather, has a very sporty vibe, this matte color finish on the outside. I mean, those options aren't available on a lot of the other cars. Now, Honda and Toyota don't have to do nothing like that because they got their solidified staple of people. But for the GT line, look at the rear taillights, the rear diffuser action, the exhaust openings. I mean, it looks good. You could do a lot worse with some other cars, but I'm not mad at what they've done here. I think it looks good. And then there's a Telluride here, and then up on the stage that's spinning around is a new Kia Sportage, which is their smaller, compact SUV that's coming out, and that's the 2025 X Pro Sportage. And up there, next to it, is another model. This is the Sorento, updated as well with the new front end, the headlights, another prestige package. Can't go up there, but you can kind of get a vibe of what these look like. And then I can kind of show you the front of this as well, so you can kind of see what this looks like as it spins around. And that's how the new Sportage front end is gonna look. So it has elements of like that EV GT line with those headlights, but it looks really good. And if you wanted to see what it looked like previously, I believe, no, this is something else. This is a Nero. That's what this is. This is not a Sportage. Yes, see, this is a Nero, which is another small like hybrid hatchbacky type of vehicle that they have. And that, it looks nice. I like how it looks. It looks good. So the Kia booth has delivered on what you would expect from them. And I think they do a good job. Infiniti. So Infiniti really, outside of, let's say, the QX60 and the smaller one over there, and this gigantic QX80, which is their new like super luxury one. The QX80 is impressive. Especially if you're considering, full-on luxury, like look at the front, full digital dashboard displays, controls in the center there, nice leather look, this all black look they have here is an 82,000, and the front end is where I said the presence comes in, because that's a lot of grille. The headlights look dope, especially how they have that like kind of stacked LED look. Those look really cool. And then the smaller version here, they got a giant blow-up doll. This is the QX55, which still kind of looks like, I think that's still the old design. I don't think that they updated that. The QX80 has an updated front end, but I think that's still holding on to the older one. And this is the older QX, I believe. I don't think this is updated, is it? I could be wrong. Oh no, this is. It was just a white color one. So this is still another QX80, just in white. All new one. Here, one of the cool features of this, let me show you. They have this sound system from Klipsch that has the speakers in the headrest right there. So that's crazy. This has I like this interior a little bit better. A little maroon wine color, same digital dashboard displays, but all this color and look. And you can see on the outside and the doors. Yeah, I mean, this is, you spend the $90,000 what you want. That's an autograph option too. The Infinitis are popular right now at this moment. There's a lot of people looking at them, especially them QX80s. I mean, you do gotta have Bredicus to get the QX80, but there aren't many, like in this realm of large SUVs, I mean, you ain't got that many options that are that big that have that much luxury. I mean, you got Range Rovers, you got Escalade, Navigators, QX80s, which are a little bit different of a design than a Navigator. And that's, I mean, you ain't got much. That's it. Now, continuing my luxury theme, we are now over at BMW, which I don't know if you can see the sign from here, but there goes BMW. Now, they brought all of their electric cars. That would be an i7. They did bring a M3 or an M4. That is looks like probably an i5. But let's just start off here, i7. I mean, I showed you a 7 Series before. This is their electric version of it, which has, you know, a complete white interior. But I mean, this is a full luxury car. I mean, look at the space in the back. I don't know if this is reclining seats. I don't even know if you can open these doors. Oh, you can. So this isn't powered on, but normally this entire thing would light up as a screen that would help you control the seats, recline them, move them forward. There's a huge screen that comes down in the center and the back, which is a wide screen, which looks incredible. Here's how it looks on the front. I mean, this little crystal look they have, I'm not knocking. I like it. In pictures and when you hear about it, it seems kind of cheesy. But when you see it in person, you're like, you know what? I'm not mad. I like this M Sport steering wheel they have here. Nice size. Now, everybody would want to be in the back seat, but I wouldn't be mad at driving one of these. Like, this isn't bad to drive. Like, if it's comfortable to drive, I don't know how much range it has now when it's fully charged, but as far as like how this looks, I think it does look good. It isn't, it's a 760. Now, I'm not gonna say it's not as classic looking as like the E38s, E60s, but for where BMW is at and what they're doing, I'm not mad at it. Yes, the grille it's a lot to take in. It looks a lot better when it's in gloss black and against white. If it was all black, it would really just disappear. But this is the i7, if you're thinking about it. So if you're coming to the show, you can come check that out. And this is an M4, obviously, in this nice purple color. It has an optional, I've never seen this carbon wing, but this must be an M option. But it's an option you can add on there, but it's a whole carbon fiber wing you can have on there. But you've seen M4s. I mean, I've shown them to you. You can see how they look inside. Nice white interior. I mean, it's an M. What do you expect? High quality. And this is an i4 that they have next to it, which is the other electric vehicle. Smaller, a little more compact, but think of it like take a 4 Series, which is a little bit bigger than a 3 Series, or I don't even know if they are. That looks good. It's not bad looking. I like it. Check out the front of this as well. That was another Infiniti. That was a QX55, I believe. Lights on the i4. It's not bad. They do have this thing now when it comes to all their cars. It's like this big QR code that you have to scan. You can kind of see right there. This is the new X3 M50. So the new X3, there isn't an M version like the X5 right here, which has an M competition one. The X3 one, the M50 one was like as far up on the sport range that you can go. But I remember I talked about it and I said they toned it down a bit. It is still big grills, but it doesn't look bad. Now, obviously this is the X5 competition one. I drove one of these and these drive incredible. As far as just being a big SUV and how fast they can move, them things move crazy. And then they have kind of like a modified one over here. Some extra like roof rack features on there, some updated wheels. But this one is equally as good as well. I don't think this is just an M Sport one. I don't think this is a competition. This is an X7, so it's a lot bigger. And it has a split tailgate that the X7s have, but I guess it can't close, it's not powered on. But that's what these are. So these have a lot more room, so they have like up to a third row in there. I'm not saying it's like the biggest third row, but you can make it happen. I do like this cream interior, but you can see third row in the back, like carbon fiber trim on there, dashboard design similar to all the other BMWs. It looks good. I do want to look at this more. I mean, this is just, like I get accent lighting. I'm not mad at LED accent lighting, but this is just, like, and then how this looks with, like, this is a video game. Like, even down to the M badging, steering wheel, purple, it's just, it's a lot. It's just a lot. Especially the fact that if you sit back and you look at how big that dashboard is and they just slap the screen on there, it's just, I mean, I don't know. The black outside, the outside exterior does look good. It hit a lot of any imperfection they had in the previous design. You can kind of see the fender flare action, the accent line, the character lines, kind of a little rear spoiler. It does look fine on the outside. It's just that this interior is like, I know I might be in a minority, and somebody's gonna like it. I know that, but it's just it's like a video game. That's the only way I can describe it. It was like the dials, the color. I was like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? Now, we'll leave that there. I'm getting close to the end. Let me show you Mini, because they came back too. So Mini is back, as you can see. Bow, Mini. Shout out to my sister. It's her OG 2006 Mini Cooper Supercharged. We have the new Mini Coopers. I do not know if these, I think all of these are automatic now. This Cooper Works one does look cool on the front. I believe this is it still has a nice little aggressive look. I just missed the fact that you can't get these in manual. And like, it doesn't have that, like, I don't know how to say it, but it's just missing that essence it had before, when it was like the sporty, compact, very, you know, very European, fun and sporty, even down to like this version here where you see like bright yellow color. I mean, they still look cool because they have this really cool, funky look. Even the 4-door one here, like, they still have that character and that love. It's just that, man, you don't get the manual no more. You can't get the CoopWorks S with the Manny. Like, come on, man. Like, how could this be? All we got is 7-speed dual clutch transmissions. And the funny thing is, they took away like everything on the dash down there. You don't see anything. Like, everything is controlled up there, which is fine. I guess you can lift it up there because it's all automatic anyways. But like, man, what a missed time. Here's a Countryman, which is a big SUV version of the Mini, in case you want to haul some more people, some more things, some more animals, pets. This is a all-wheel drive version. So you can see back there. See, so I'll open this door up real quick, and I'll give Mini this. If there is one thing that they'll do, is they'll give you funky, cool, fun interiors to have to design and put on your car. And they did the same thing with the Countryman, even down to the circle dashboard on there. So I'm not knocking Mini for who they are. I think that they still do exactly what you want them to do as a company. I just wish that they still had the Cooper S with the manual. Not that I was buying one, I'm just talking from a car enthusiast standpoint. But the Countryman isn't bad looking. And if you are looking at all the other SUVs, if you're looking at everything, RAV4s, anything, any SUV, this is a cool option to have, just kind of throw out there to be just different. Be different, have some character, gotta be funky, have some fun with it. That's a good option to have as well. And this is the Mini lineup. Like I said, they have various ones up here. They have the 4-door S. They have a little 2-door one there. They have the CoopWorks S. It's just, sadly, no more manuals. Only dual clutch. I mean, at least it's a dual clutch. So it's not terrible. And then they do have the convertible here as well. And that other yellow one may not be an E version. But here is a convertible, complete with back seat that is, I mean, I guess if you have a small person in the front, you could stick somebody on that side, but here's how that looks. So I checked out the little Monroney on this one, just because I had to look at it. It's 228 horsepower, 280 foot-pounds of torque, turbo 4, only a 7-speed dual clutch, which is, I mean, it is what it is, honestly. I don't think the market for the Minis was even pushing that hard for manuals. I think the older ones is where that cult following is, and they're just gonna go buy the old ones. So Mini is here, so I do appreciate that. Like I said, the show this year is way more options. We got Mini, we got BMW, we have Infiniti. I didn't go over to Lucid. I'll circle back over there to them. And then we have Lexus right here. Lexus, I mean, their lineup is the same. They got their EV Lexus vehicles, LS's, ES's. There isn't anything Lexus-wise that's like overly unique, but they do have like their big SUV, which is like the L600 over there. That one is something that is special as well too. So here are their SUVs. This is similar to Land Cruiser. This is a GX 550. So the Land Cruiser, the Lexus version of that. And then if you go up a little bit further, you see there is the L600, which is their, think of it, the LX700H. Think of it like the QX80 over there that I showed you. Think of it like their big, full-on luxury one. And they've updated a couple things on here. Like if you're looking at the interior of it, let me see if I can show it to you real quick. Well, actually, before I do that, let me show you this model. This is like the Lexus version of the Grand Highlander, which I do like these. Very sleek, clean look. I didn't show you the interior of the Grand Highlander, but it would be similar to this, save for I think this has a little bit more digital displays. Obviously, it's a Lexus, so there's a lot more luxury and stuff inside of it. This is an F Sport, so black wheels, more accents on there. But let me show you the interior of this real quick, which is kind of like a dual stacked screen there. It's still kind of similar to an older design because they haven't really done much different on this particular vehicle or SUV. They've kind of just updated the front end, I think the powertrains have changed a bit, but the whole entire shape and look is still similar to the old LX, the GXs that they've had before in the past. So Lexus booth is pretty much complete. That is what you have seen. They don't have any IS models. They just have the ES and the LS models here. But there isn't anything new for that model. And if you want like the NX and the RX, they have all those models there as well too. Nissan. Let's shoot over to Nissan before I head over to, I'm gonna jump over to Lucid after. We'll go over to Nissan.
With more cargo secured outside.
Nissan is, the Murano's here, but I showed you the Murano last year, which looks the same. They haven't changed much. I think they may have updated a little bit of the front end a little bit more to give it more of a design language that Nissan is following. Decent SUV. I've never driven one. But I mean, it looks, it's the part for what it is. I don't really like how that steering wheel looks, but listen, I'm not the target demographic for this. They have the new kicks here, which I did say the new kicks was a good value, especially with how it looked. I do like how it looks. I think they match this well. And then if you looked at the price point of this at $31,000, it was very similar to like the battle that Kia was having with the K4 and how much value they were sticking in. So I even like the wheels. I like the color of this. I think a small compact SUV, Nissan did do well when it comes to this. I think this is a very good option that people should consider. Shouldn't sleep on, definitely should be on your list. Then they have the Altima, which is still still around. That's an SR Altima. I guess they're trying to do one last little sporty edition. I guess if you really want an Altima, go get an Altima. I'd get a K4 before I bought one of these personally, but it's not a bad car. It's just long in tooth, meaning it's been out for a long time. It's been a while. They've tried to update the front end. It's always had a more sportier look.
Good morning.
But it needs more. My man's up there talking. We got a Rogue. They have the Pathfinder. They have the Aria, which is their electric one that you've seen
We're so excited to be
before.
here. We have the all-new kicks right in front of the stage. It's completely designed.
Pathfinder is here. Yeah, he's talking about the kicks right now, saying that it's a good, I think, like I said, it's a good design. It's a good option. More Rogues here, a little sporty edition there. They have a Frontier, which is their little mid-size pickup truck. A Frontier. And then they have the new Armada, which is what I've talked about previously and said the new one does look cool. It has a lot of awesome features on it. I talked about it on the podcast. Yeah, go check that out. Let me show you the quick interior real quick. See if it's open. See that nice little stitching. The interior got a nice, like I said, it got a nice update. In person, it looks good, feels good. Everything is nice on it, so nice update on that. Even back to the rear, got a clipped sound system, similar to what they're doing over in Infiniti. But this is the Pro 4X, so you get that stitching kind of everywhere. And third row, which can fit up to 3. So you got 3 in the back, 3 in the front. So this is good, look like a little 8-passenger that you can kind of pull off. But I like this. I think they did well with the new Armada. Large, big SUV. It's not bad. And this is called the Thrill Street, which is, I'm not gonna lie. Nissan calling this a Thrill Street is kind of funny because outside of the Nissan Z, in the kicks, I'll give them the kicks. That's kind of Thrill Streety. But here's the Nissan Z, which you've seen before. This has, I think there's, I don't know if it has the updated front end. No, that was that special model when it had the split front end. But Nissan Z, I've seen those before as well. But as far as the kicks go, I think the kicks is a good, very good option if you're looking at SUVs to get that in that smaller range and compact. I think it's really good to consider them. Now, let me go head over to, what is it, Subaru. I didn't go to Subaru. Okay, another short little break I had to take real quick. So we're wrapping this up actually very soon. So I'm over at the Mazda booth, and Mazda don't really got that much happening right now, but I'm still gonna show you. We have, what is this? This is a CX, obviously. I can't tell by the size if it's a CX3 or a CX5. I believe it's a CX3. There's a Mazda 3, Mazda 3 hatchback, which I think, and this is all from Jeff Haas Mazda. They provide all these cars. I still think this is one of the best looking hatchbacks that are out there. Unfortunately, they have not decided to make a Speed 3 version, because if they did, it would probably sell like crazy. And there is this is a CX50. This is a CX30, which is their little smaller one, the little off-road package there. Obviously the MX-5, the Miata, the well-known. CX90, the larger base one. The MX-5, well-known, loved, roadster, sports car. That's the one with that retractable hardtop. I always like that option. This right here is some plug-in hybrid. I can't remember. This might be maybe a CX90 plug-in hybrid. CX70. So this is a CX70, which is, I guess, a notch below the CX90 over there. But this is a plug-in hybrid. Nice color. And Mazda's always had good looking cars, nice clean interiors as well. They haven't done anything like major as far as their lineup goes. They've shown concepts like the SP iconic concept, but they haven't said if they're gonna make that. They just showed off the concept, and everybody was like freaking out, like, yo, that looks absolutely ridiculous. That's like the new RX-7, let's do it, and then we don't know what's gonna happen. So, who knows? They're coming next. But let's jump over to, that was Mazda. Now, like I said, they're small because everything is provided by Jeff Haas. So, outside of that, let's go over to Subaru. The BRZ, this is a TS model that has the, you see they're trying to make it think it's a STI. Got the gold Brembos back on there, but it's still the same. I mean, I'm not mad at it. Nice little blue stitching, little special edition. It's not terrible. There is, this is probably this is either TS or a TR model that has a larger Brembo brakes on there. Same interior as previously. This is, I don't know what model this is. It doesn't really say. It just has the brakes on it, but I thought the ones with the brakes and those wheels was a TR model. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I believe it's the TR model because it has the Recaro seats, which these seats are much better than the ones that are in, obviously, my GR Corolla. I wish we had some Recaro buckets. So I haven't, like, the interior of this car has always been good. The steering wheel is nice, that 6-speed manual. It's just the outside. I think I like Alcantara here on the dashboard. I like that. There might be some on the door panel. This right here, Alcantara. Then they have this with the little kind of Fox carbon fiber. That beeping sounds because it says the headlights are on. I don't know if they, I mean, who knows? They'll deal with it later. Now, it's just that, I mean, we've already said it enough times. It's not a terrible looking vehicle, especially when you look at like the rear where those rear quarter panel is and how wide it gets. It's just the cladding. The front looked too much like the Crosstreks and the other cars. It just lost so much of its like punch that it had before. But I've already said that a bunch of times, okay? I'm not gonna harp on it too much. We already know. If you like, I think at the platform it's still a good car. I just prefer what they had before. Now we have the other SUVs and stuff that Subaru has. This is an Accent, I believe, because of just how large it is. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's an Accent. The large SUV. They have Outbacks. They got the Impreza over there. They have a Crosstrek. They have the new Forester. That's the Impreza right there. There is, I'm gonna go check out the Forester. I do like those. Crosstrek is always a fun car, and they have that Wilderness version they had last year with the extra off-road package on there. Here's a Forester, which is always a fun, kind of like funky SUV wagon, but I've liked them. They serve a purpose. People that like these like these. It's like there's no stopping them. They're buying a Forester. Like, that's what they're going to get. So the Forester is out here. It has like little bronze accents on there. And then there's an Outback over there. same wilderness. Also, if you come over here, you can adopt a pet, a dog. But there's a wilderness version of the Outback as well. And then this is their same, I always say the name, I think it's called a Sotera, but it's the electric SUV that they did with Toyota. So you see, I showed you on the Toyota one, it's the same exact thing. So this is the collaboration that they did together. And I always say then Solterra, it's Solterra. I say Solterra all the time, it's Solterra. So Subaru has their lineup with their standard cars. At least they do have, like I said, they have the BRZ. That's a TS model. I guess if you were gonna get a BRZ in general, it's not gonna hurt to get the one with the big brakes, so you already have that taken care of. And I do like the little red accents and the TS thing that they have on there, but we already know what the BRZ is, so that is here. And they have the WRX as well, and that's a TR model there too. And if you so happen to want to adopt a dog, they have them here for you to come adopt. All you gotta do is just show up here and see if you want to adopt a dog. I love dogs too, but not right now. Not right now. The kids would love one. If I came home with a dog, they would freak out. Probably my wife would too. She'd be like, I guess we got a dog now. And I'll be like, I guess we do. So now, wrapping up Subaru, let's go over to Hyundai. And as you can see, Hyundai in the distance over there. Now, they do have the Ioniq 9 here. And I've always talked about this in my podcast about the little pixelated dash and pixelated design elements they have on there. And in person, like I said in the podcast, this looks cool. And I appreciate them doing something different as opposed to kind of doing the same thing everybody else has been doing. Here's the Ioniq 9. I've talked about this on my podcast. Actually, I talked about the rear as far as how design looks, but like, look how wide that gets in the rear now. I mean, that's cool. Also, this particular design element that I talked about on the podcast, I still think that it kind of takes away from everything. Yes, if they color like the body is fine, but it's still an odd split. I'm like, why do we gotta do that? It's not necessary. But the rear lights, I think the rear lights look really cool, especially when you follow the line, the pixelated look all the way down. I think that looks really cool. Even down to the reverse light they have there, a reflector. I think that looks really cool. And I think like the rear and how wide it kind of gets in the back and the interior and everything, this is all locked as a pre-production, but I think they did a really good job on this. As far as just getting people excited about an EV and trying to make it look not the same as everything else that is on the market, they did a good job with that. Now they also have the Ioniq 5. This is not I wish they had the 5N here. They don't have any of the N models here, which is unfortunate, but they don't. They also have, this is their other SUV, kind of following that same pixel, but this is the new Santa Fe. And the Santa Fe has been substantially updated. It follows the similar thing of like how Kia does the Telluride and all those things. They added this for the Santa Fe, which I don't even know, what's this right here? This is like a little door or something there that you can kind of use, but the Santa Fe is also a 3-row SUV. So if you look in the back right there, there is a 3rd row that you can have. And it can still have, let's see if it opens up there. You still have a decent amount of space in the back. Decent amount of 3rd row space that you can have back there. So it ain't all lost. I do think the reason why you see so many of these is how much they pack into these and how much they give you, and the fact that it looks so rugged. It looks very Discovery, Land Rover, Range Rover, or like those other, I didn't show you guys that, but there's another booth that I'll go to, but the SUV called Ineos that looks like an old school Land Rover Discovery or something. That's what this looks like. Like all these boxy SUVs is really, a lot of it I think is due to the fact that cars like the G-Wagon got so popular and these boxy SUVs, that these companies are like, hey, if they're paying that much for boxes, I'm getting in. Here goes the new Sonata that you're seeing. There is no N version like they had last year here, but you can come see the Sonata, you can come see the new Elantra as well. That is here. And this is also another Santa Fe, just in a blue color that they have. That's because the Santa Fe is obviously a very big deal as far as what they're selling and trying to move. And I do like this blue color.
Yeah, I don't remember, but like.
The blue color is nice. I do like that. Nice, the black wheels. Give you a quick look inside real quick while the gentleman's sitting in there. But if you look, you can see the dashboard's nice, clean. They at least gave you some layers of design and stacking it so that's not just a screen on the dashboard, but even at the blue accents and the lights, I think that is a good touch here. Also, if you look right here, it has this little cubby that kind of pops out also, and you still get a glove box. See? Design elements I like. See? That's all cool. Give you storage with all these spaces. And then you got storage under there, underneath, similar to like a Howard and a Sienna. And I do like this. I mean, the lighter interior is a lot to kind of deal with, but I do like it. Let me show you on the driver's side. So from the driver's side, you can kind of get a good look at this gray, cream, ash wood, blue LED light accents on there, curved display on it. I wish it was more seamless, but obviously they can. It probably costs a lot more to make one giant screen there seamless, but you also get like an LED screen when it comes to the HVAC controls. You have wireless charging for 2 phones, which I think is a smart feature because usually it's wireless charging only for one, and then everybody just stuck staring at each other like who's going to charge first. But nice storage, nice capacity for hauling and storing things. Here goes the rear real quick. You get a little sunshade. I'm showing this because there's somebody I know that was looking at a Santa Fe and they probably want to see more about it. And even back there in the third row, I mean, it's nice, it's decent. The floor is fairly flat, you know, so it makes it easy to get in and out of. Power rear seats as well. I don't know what this door is, but it's something. I don't know what it is. It's probably something inside. It might be something that you attach to it, maybe like an off-road feature or some little cherry can thing to put on it. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's something. I wasn't gonna, you know, dive into it that deeply in the car because it ain't mine. But in this trim that I'm looking at now, this is a Santa Fe hybrid calligraphy, which is why it looks so nice inside. This is $50,000, and then you can start at 37. So you can still look like this for 37, 44, or you can get up to 47, then 50,000 that I have there too. It's not bad. I mean, if you wanted to stack a Santa Fe with everything on it at that price point, I mean, I don't know if you really can get anything that could look that much better than that as far as SUVs go. So good job Hyundai. Like I said before, Hyundai and Kia are moving swiftly up the ranks as far as how their cars look and how much people are buying into them. Hyundai is right there with them. And then this last model right here, this is Palisades, which I think they're about to upgrade the Palisades. I don't know if this is a brand new one updated, but this is their larger one, similar to like the Kia Telluride. But the Palisades is probably due for a redesign. Even though this is a 2025 one, it's still holding some of this. They did redesign it because it has like an updated look. I don't know if they'll ever go to the way that the Ioniq N is looking, how the Santa Fe looks. They may just keep it like this, but this is the Palisades as far as you want a larger SUV that can hold more people more comfortably, especially if you need third rows and everything. And that's how it looks like inside as well. Same nice light blue, ashwood, leather as well. And this one is $54,000 at a spec now too. So listen, if SUVs is your thing and you look for a larger one, we have plenty of them available everywhere. And that's Hyundai. I wish they had an Ioniq N here. I've been waiting to be in one of those. One day I'm gonna drive it. I've actually been checking Toro to see if anybody ever rents one, because I'm gonna rent it and then review it or just drive it. Like I really want to. Now, I'm gonna I'm right next to it, so I'm just gonna show you the other side of the show. We talk about the boats, right? Now, I'm gonna spin you around. I wish the rest of the show had just car manufacturers. Now, could they fill up this size? Are we really missing all the manufacturers? I mean, we pretty much got all the ones that most people are gonna really care about. Like, yes, Porsche isn't here. No, you don't have Mercedes. Audi isn't here. There's 3 manufacturers there. Who else is possibly missing from here? Everybody else that most people care about are already here. But if they were to have it straight through this whole thing, or at least halfway, without the boats, that would be even more amazing. But we are making our way to a bigger footprint, but we still got a long way to go. If you check the boat section, it is way larger of a footprint. Obviously, boats are much bigger. Speaking of boats, as I was looking at Hyundai, I kept peeking over at this monstrosity of a yacht. But what caught my attention, not the fact that it had giant Mercury engines, was this little window down here that was basically looking down into the galley, which was like a shower and bathroom. And then I guess there's like a bedroom under here. Listen, this is not in my price bracket at all. But if you want to see some boats and get inside of them and get inside RVs, they got them here. The boat thing is crazy to me because, I mean, like, that's such a luxurious thing. Like, you got to have some real disposable money, some disposable monies to have a boat like this, just sitting at the marina. But anyways, I'm gonna jump over to Ineos, I believe. I'm gonna check out a few of the vendors and see if there's a certain person I want to see to make me maybe another sign. I will also go over to Lucid Air. I'm gonna walk over to Lucid Air, and then that's gonna be pretty much it. Company Evolve that deal with all versions of electric cars. So Lucid Air is just one of them that they have here that I've seen plenty of times. This is not a Sapphire, which is that crazy powerful one, but I've seen Lucid Air cars before. I like them. I think their interior design is one of the best ones, especially for an electric vehicle. I think they did one of the best options that you could, especially as far as the space goes. Like, if you're thinking about this or a Model S, I mean, this is one of the best options that you can have as far as that goes. And then there's an ID Buzz right there. There's a Cybertruck. Everybody's seen one of those because those things are everywhere. And everybody knows what they look like. So the Evolve section is electric vehicles of any make, any model that they have here, even including stuff they have for Centerpoint and for the city of Houston, little EV F-150s they have. So it's not a Lucid Air booth, it's the Evolve booth that have a few electric cars. And there's one other one over here too. They took an old classic, it's like an Austin, I say Austin Healey, but I could be wrong, it might be an MG or something like that, but it's a TR6. Just say, I want to say Triumph or something, but they did an electric swap on this British Roadster. As you can see here, a little vintage car, TR6. I was right, it's a Triumph TR6, I was correct. My brain was correct, I knew what I was talking about. So that's an electric version of that old vintage car that they did a swap on as well. And I know some people are like, yo, just sacrilegious. However, I bet you the thing is dumb fast. If they have any amount of power that like a Model 3 has and the chassis that light, I'm sure the thing is stupid quick. So let's go over to Ineos SUVs, which is all the way on the other end, and see what they have, just to show you that as well. And then I want to go check out a booth that I know of a gentleman that has like art cars, or like paintings and stuff. I want to buy one for the podcast studio. We have the Lamborghini Revelto in a nice purple color. If you've never seen one, you can get very up close in person, or come to Cars and Coffee or Catalina and somebody's going to pull up with one. But there goes the Lamborghini Revelto. There's a GT4 RS. There's a Ferrari SF90. There's a Cybertruck, which is, I find hilarious that they consider these like exotic cars. That's funny. There's a Land Rover Discovery that has been heavily modified with wheels. And then there's an Audi RSQ. Them wheels are ridiculous. Those wheels look certifiably amazing on this. Nice carbon fiber package on here. So this is clearly somebody's personal car, just heavily modified. RSQ8. I ain't mad at this at all. That looks crazy. Absolutely. Then there goes this G-Wagon, which I feel like I saw that at SEMA. But it was, or that I saw one with that same bright orange interior. And then right here we have a Ferrari Purosangue. That black color looks way more impressive in person. Pictures don't really do it justice, but the amount of pearl on here is crazy. I don't even think my camera's gonna pick it up, but it looks nuts in person. And the carbon fiber around it. You can see the interior, tan leather. So if you can't afford this, if you can't afford a Ferrari Purosangue, if that's like above your budget, Toyota has the Crown Sport in Japan that basically looks like this. It's like the poor man's version of the Purosangue, and they designed theirs first, so can't knock it. But Ferrari's SUV, the Purosangue. But Ferrari's SUV, the Purosangue, I like how they look. Some people may not. I think they remind me of the Ferrari FF, just raised up a little higher and a lot wider and aggressive. I do think that the stance, like, I would get some deeper dish wheels personally, almost like a Meteor tire, just to kind of fill up this wheel gap or just kind of lower it down some, and it would look really, really dope. We got some Wranglers and some modified Broncos as well. And then that's the rear of the Purosangue. Let me just skip through here real quick. Kind of give you a look at some other cars they have. All right. Got another Bronco, modified. It's real SEMA vibes right now. We got a Hellcat. We have obviously a racing M4. Another Hellcat from Houston Police, or a Scat Pack. We got a C7 Z06 with 1,200 horsepower, which is crazy. We got a ZR1 with 1,000 on it. The Sheriff Harris County has a Mustang Mach-E and an F-150. Clearly a full-on drag racing Cobra, a ZR1. That's the Super Duty over here. So cool, quick little modified vehicles over there if you want to check them out. And if you care for RVs, like if my kids are here right now, they'd be jumping in and out of all these. The RV section is over here as well too, to kind of show you what you can have and jump into and rent. And if you are interested in what NASA's doing, I'm gonna squeeze by here real quick because I'm not walking that path. If you're interested in what NASA's doing with their lunar vehicles, they got them all here. From Artemis, Astrolab to stuff, and I believe they have engineers from NASA here too, discussing, talking about stuff, telling you what they're doing, what they're working on, what they're trying to design for lunar outpost vehicles. They have the spacesuit, the shuttle, Artemis 3 that they're working on, and people from NASA here and interactive displays. So this is cool because this is something I do think is fun to have here at the show. They also have those like airless tires on all these vehicles, because clearly you can't have air up in space because that ain't gonna work out. So if you fancy looking at what they have from NASA, all of their vehicles and people here to talk about them are here on display. Now what I came over here for was Ineos Grenadier, I believe. I've seen, they're all, I mean, in whatever city you live in, you may have already seen one of these. They're all over Houston, but very rugged, outdoory, I say Land Rover Discovery because that's the only thing I can kind of recall as far as like a vehicle that matches this kind of aesthetic and look. But these are actually powered by BMW's B58 motor, which I did not know. So a friend of mine told me, and I was like, what? Well, no wonder. So this is like the pickup version. I mean, if you don't like this style, I understand. This is truly like off-road, rugged. I mean, if you look at the interior, it is not necessarily bare bones, but it's not made for you to try to be like, oh, I'm gonna haul all the kids and be a daily driver. I'm sure somebody daily drives this, but I certainly wouldn't. But if you're doing stuff like camping, overlanding, and you wanted like a new version of something that everybody pays to like resto mod, then you have it here. And these are not cheap. These is in the 80, 70, probably $100,000 range as far as what they can do. But as far as like the capabilities and four-wheel drive and auto locking differentials and the ability to take over ascents and things on the off-road and trails is capable. From what I've read and what I have seen on videos, they are very capable and they're becoming very popular because I see them around all the time. So, Ineos vehicles. They're here also at the show over here by the RV booth. If you are interested in seeing it, they have a nice layout, enough space to kind of look at the cars and stand back and see what they have to offer. More of the luxury cars I showed you before. This is post-oak motors. So they have a Bugatti, they have Bentley Bentaygas, they have Cullinans, Rolls Royces. No, you're not gonna be able to walk in there because they ain't allowing that. And this is some of the other booths and people they have here. Okay, I'm coming to a close. I kind of went through the entire show. That was the entire thing. Nothing else really left. I am mad hungry. I'm not buying nothing to eat here because there's nothing I really want. And I drink all my water, so I'm kind of like parched. I've been talking. I enjoyed the show. I've been here since 8 a.m. It's now 12. What time is it now? 12:37. Been here for like 5 hours just running around, just reviewing and not reviewing, but just talking about the cars in the booth. And I hit everything. There was nothing I didn't miss. Like last time I did a video on like 3-part series. I ain't doing that this time. I'm keeping it one short one. Possibly. We'll see what happens. But I enjoyed it. I like the fact that there are more companies here. It is larger than it was last year. It is a better representation of the car brands. I wanted to keep getting bigger, and I'll talk about it on the podcast more. I'll do a review about the auto show and what I think, what I thought about it. But I'm soon about to head on out. I'm gonna check y'all later. Listen, follow the channel, subscribe to it, like it, follow the podcast, listen to it, tell a friend. If you like automotive podcasts and you want to listen to it, please drive in and show people what you've been listening to. And I'm gonna check y'all later. I'll be back. I got other videos coming, Gerald Corolla things and other stuff like that, other shows, other events. I'll check in later. Peace.